YouTube, man. What's going on, LNH? Back with another vid, and today, man, I never thought we would see this. Bryce James just put out some new footage. We just finally saw how this dude is hooping at Sierra Canyon, being that he's playing for his high school team. And I gotta be honest, this dude's game and his height, his athleticism, everything is looking crazy. So we gotta break it down, get right into it. And how does he compare against Bronny James at this age and even Bron? So let's take a look at it. But if you do like these type of vids, man, make sure you like the video. Now, that new footage was just put out just a few days ago, and if you guys did not see how this dude was hooping, man, I gotta be honest, it looks like he has Bron's exact genes. Now, number one, I think the most obvious thing right when I even saw a picture of him was one, his height, and two, how much he weighs. Now, he definitely looks like he thinned out a little bit and is definitely getting taller, which again, we even saw in one picture when it was Bronny's birthday, and when we saw them there, if you noticed in the picture, Bryce actually seemed even taller than Bronny at that point. And we know Bronny is around 6'3", 6'4", so that means Bryce James is probably around 6'4", 6'5" right now. And that would be crazy if he actually is that tall. Some people don't even think he's anywhere near that, but all I can say for sure is this dude definitely gained some height when he was out there hooping on the court. Now, one thing about these highlights I gotta say, and we have to mention this, man, just how natural he looks as a scorer is one of the biggest things I've noticed here. Now, again, some hoopers naturally are able to score the ball better than others. Some are able to assist. People have different feels for the game, and one thing it looks like, man, Bryce has no problem putting the ball in the basket. Whether it's his jump shooting, which, man, I gotta say, his jump shot was looking crispy, no hesitation, just put the ball up and it went in. Clearly, him training with Bronny and his father is paying off, because, man, it looked like all his shots were going in. But again, it looks like he's been working on his game a ton, and I think that jump shot is what's really gonna separate him from other hoopers in his class, and even Bronny. Now, Bronny can shoot the ball, but it's just something different about Bryce, and a lot of people have mentioned this since day one, where the youngest players are always the best hoopers. And in this case, him just going out there, being able to score the ball with no hesitation, man, I think there's something very special about him, and it almost looks like he has those genetics that sometimes we question about if Bronny James always had them, or maybe if he developed a little bit later, whereas Bryce seems like he's developing at a much earlier age than Bronny. Now, in Bronny's defense, I gotta say, he's been playing much better in his most recent games, looks more aggressive, and again, it depends who's on your team as well. Bronny's team is stacked, and you guys know when you're playing with Amari Bailey and all these other hoopers, it's gonna be tough to score the basketball. I don't care who you are, if you go on a team like that, even somebody like Mikey Williams is going to be averaging less points on a talented team than vertical prep if you were over there. Now, when we take a look at Bryce as well, I think the other thing we have to acknowledge, number one, is this dude is not playing varsity. Now, we know Bronny James played varsity when he was a freshman, and Bryce is not. And I think that's one of the biggest changes as well, because we always talk about hoopers and how well they play when they're young and how they develop in the long term. And again, if you're playing varsity since you're a freshman, you're probably going to be playing against stronger, better players, and you're just naturally not going to look as good. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I think people always forget that this dude Bryce is not playing varsity, but it's not to take away from his game at all, because honestly on this court, he just looks like he has that natural scoring ability that I think his brother Bronny just did not always have. And again, I'm really wondering what his athleticism looks like, because you guys know this dude dunked the ball, and it's just something about how he's developing currently right now. He looks just more of a fluid hooper and just has that ability. And man, I think Bryce has a lot of finesse in his game. He looks like he's a tad bit more flashy and likes to, dribble the ball, get to the hoop, score the basket, and really just plays his game. And again, I think you have to give credit to his brother and even his pops, because man, without them two, I don't think Bryce would be close to where he's at right now. And again, the genetics is one thing where it looks like it's just kicking in a little bit earlier for Bryce than it did Bronny. Now, LeBron did call him the family's best shooter, and I think that's becoming evident more and more. The way he's going out there, even from when he was younger, people noticed his form, how he put the ball up was just a little bit different than his brother. And of course, even Bron, we know he's not the best shooter out there, but it seems like that's something that Bryce really worked on and focused on and really took the game seriously, because when you're the son of an NBA player, it's tough to take the game as seriously as other people, because number one, I think their interests don't always align with basketball. And sometimes, man, these sons don't always want to play basketball moving forward. And again, with all the pressure and all the eyes really looking at Bronny and not always Bryce, I think Bryce is really taking advantage of this and shocking people, because a lot of times people forget about him. The footage, honestly, is nowhere near as much out on Bryce as it is Bronny. People are always covering Bronny, but I think soon enough, the way how this dude is playing, man, we might see his rankings go up, the height, just how he's moving fluid on the court, able to just have a little bit more finesse in his game, just a different type of game than Bronny, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I think that has to be acknowledged whenever we talk and try to compare these two dudes. Now, another thing people are saying about this dude is he has more of a killer instinct on the court, and honestly, whenever we talk about aggression, I think, again, these two dudes are in two different positions, because one gets some more spotlight than the other. And when you have more pressure on you, it's tougher to perform in the spotlights. Again, especially when you're playing against varsity. Remember, Bryce is not playing on varsity right now, so we have to acknowledge that. But he does seem to have more of that killer instinct that we saw in Bron, just going out there and really just doing his thing, having fun. And it really looks like he enjoys the game of basketball. And I think, again, he just seems to maybe have matured a little bit quicker than Bronny in the game. And we're really going to see how these two dudes pan out in the future. I think that will be the most interesting thing. But also athleticism. Now, athleticism is one that, again, comes with the genetics. And I think Bryce seems to be picking up his athleticism very quickly. Now, we know when he was a little bit younger, this dude was probably weighing a little bit more. Didn't have that type of speed on the court and athleticism. But it looks like things are starting to change. I think he's been in the gym a ton, working on his game, probably even hitting weights. And we've seen some pictures of this dude hitting weights, working out with the family, and I think him just doing this at a younger age is the biggest difference between him and Bronny, because he gets this type of exposure, this type of grind and work, and sees his pops grinded. And I think that really just him taking the game seriously a little bit earlier is one of the biggest differences with him and Bronny. Now, when Bryce actually grows even taller, man, I don't know what's gonna happen on the court. I think that's when we really are going to see how scary this dude is on the basketball court. It's one thing when you're developing, when you're a little bit younger, people are going to speculate how good you'll actually be in the future. But once he really hits that growth spurt, again, because it's still early, he probably hasn't hit it yet. He just hit and graduated 8th grade. Now he's in 9th grade. And we're just going to have to wait and see how tall this dude is. But man, from the looks of it, it looks like he's developing pretty early on, which again, would make him unstoppable on the court. I'm going to be honest here. When we talk about hoopers that may be ranked top in the country after this one game, man, if he continues to hoop like this, I see no reason why this dude can't be one of the best players in his class, with no doubt. If you see the athleticism, the dribbling, the shooting, just the quick release, that really alone sets him apart from a lot of other people his age, and even I would say all of high school basketball. Now again, it comes down to really a mentality. He may have the physical, may have the LeBron genetics, but you got to have the mentality. And one thing about this dude, and I've always said this, it doesn't seem like he's afraid to fail. He goes out there and gives it his best every night, and clearly, man, you saw from that game and how he's been developing, that is clearly the case. Now, if I had to say who is going to actually be better long term, man, I really don't know. If I had to pick a decision right now, I would say Bryce, just by how he's already developing so quickly. But don't sleep on Bronny, because honestly, I think once Amari leaves that squad, man, Bronny's going to take over his senior year, and only time will tell how these dudes actually develop long term. You guys let me know what you think about their development in the comment section down below, how they've been playing. But man, I was shocked by these highlights and how well Bryce has done over this time period. This dude is looking smooth, look like he's ready to go, and I think soon enough we're going to see him on Sierra Canyon's varsity squad going out there. And especially I want to see how he hoops in AAU, because that's going to be crazy. Playing EYBL against the top competition, man, it's going to be a wrap for whoever this dude is going against. I'm going to be honest, you better watch out, because Bryce is on his way. But you guys let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Let me know how you think they're hooping, how they're playing, who is actually going to be better in the future. Let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure you like this video if you do like these type of videos. I appreciate each and every one of you. Selling each and them out.